Red Bull's Sergio Perez had an almost flawless weekend in Baku, completely dominating everything. The Mexican driver's performance was particularly impressive given the challenging nature of the Baku City Circuit, which is known for its tight corners and long straights. With Perez's recent Baku win and Max Verstappen's consistent performance, who's going to come out on top? Well, let's find out. Given the challenging weekend the Mexican driver had in Australia, Perez's victory in Azerbaijan Grand Prix was an impressive accomplishment. Time and time again, he's proven that he has what it takes to navigate tricky street circuits with ease. I mean, all 5 of his wins with Red Bull have been on street circuits, so yeah, his consistent, strong performances this season have been well-deserved, and his impressive victory at Baku is a testament to his skill and his precision as a driver, especially his tire management skills, which were crucial this time around. For the sprint race, Perez started second, and his victory in the sprint race was uncomplicated. He easily defeated Charles Leclerc and maintained control up until the very end. Max started third, and he had an incident with George Russell that damaged his side pod, meaning that he couldn't catch up to Leclerc or Perez, and thus settled for third. On Sunday, Perez started the race third, behind pole sitter Leclerc and Verstappen in second. Once more, picking up the SF23 was simple for the RB19s, and just a few laps in, Verstappen had the lead in the race after quickly passing Leclerc. Perez followed suit and moved up to second, leaving the 2 Red Bull drivers to compete for the victory alone. Perez was able to stay within the DRS range during the opening stint on the medium compound tires, which put Verstappen under pressure. Verstappen, who was just holding on to the lead, was unable to effectively maintain his tires as well as Perez. As a result, Verstappen made his pit stop from the lead following Nick de Vries on track stop on lap 10. A call that cost him 2 track positions. The safety car was deployed shortly after, and that allowed Perez and Leclerc to pass the Dutchman. Although Perez had pretty good fortune to take the lead in the Grand Prix due to the timing of the safety car, before that happened, he genuinely had the upper hand over his teammate. And after taking the lead, Perez never looked back. Apart from a few minor contacts with the wall, which actually seemed to help his race, Perez drove a near-perfect race and prevailed in keeping Verstappen at a safe distance. He controlled the pace to secure the win, 2.1 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen struggled with the RB19 throughout the entire weekend, and during that race, he had zero control over his teammate. It wasn't until the final laps of the race that he began to improve his car through a variety of adjustments made with the available resources. Bit too late to do anything, if you ask me, though. This victory marks Perez's second win at the Baku Street Circuit, making him the only driver to have actually won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix more than once and putting him in contention for the championship title. It's a well-deserved win for the Mexican driver, who's been consistently delivering strong performances since the start of the season. After the first 4 races, each Red Bull driver now has 2 victories to their credit. And with just 6 points separating Perez and Verstappen in the championship, it's basically anybody's game at this point. Perez is determined to maintain his momentum, and in fact, he feels that if it weren't for the problems he encountered in Australia, which caused him to crash out in the first qualifying round, he would already be in the lead. This great performance puts him in contention for a championship title, and now more than ever, he believes that he can win it. We delivered under pressure massively. Every single session was so critical in this format, it was really important to be able to deliver when it came to be. Was so critical in this format, it was really important to be able to deliver when it mattered. It's a track where you require a lot of confidence, a lot of corners, and you see that a lot of drivers clip walls during the race. It's all about confidence, lap after lap, and making sure that you're on top of your car. Having 3 kids at home, I wouldn't be traveling around the world if I didn't believe that I could be a world champion. I'm working towards that. So there's there's only so much you can talk about outside of the car. It's important to deliver on the track. I think with all the issues that we had in qualifying in Melbourne, we should be leading the championship. Definitely, there's everything to believe that we can do well this year. Everyone on the Red Bull team, starting with the Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, praised Checo's performance. And here's what Horner said. He's had a sensational weekend. He's always been amazing at this track. I don't know what it is about Azerbaijan. He absolutely excels here, and he got a little lucky with the safety car, but he converted that and pulled the gap. And he had the pace. He really controlled the race, so a phenomenal drive by him all weekend. Verstappen had similar sentiments. He said, clearly Checo this year has been really on it. I mean, he's been performing well, and that's great to see. He's feeling more and more confident in the car. The team as well. We're really enjoying it. And Checo and I are having a good time. I mean, we jumped out of the car. That's also what's very important. You need to acknowledge and appreciate when someone has done a great job. And that's exactly what happened. We continue fighting for the rest of the season, but that's normal. We've done that our whole life. To win the championship, Perez has to be consistent, something that Horner seems to think that Perez doesn't have. Horner's publicly stated that Perez needs to improve his consistency if he wants to challenge Verstappen for the championship. He just needs to do it at a normal track now, Horner joked. He's excelled at street circuits. All the victories for us have been at street tracks. We just need to get him going on proper circuits. At the moment, the two of them have a slight gap over the rest of the field. There are 19 races still to go and 5 sprint races. So there's a huge amount of racing at a whole variety of different circuits to go through. It could ebb and flow between the two of them. Reliability is going to be a key factor. And of course, we're more focused on building a buffer with both of the drivers. As when we get back to Europe, there are going to be some sizable upgrades, and we have a reduced capacity to develop this year. That's where our focus is, trying to build a gap. Until the team's interest, if you're competing against a competitor, becomes bigger than the driver's interests, but as it is at the moment, they're free to race. Perez has shown that he's very capable of delivering consistent performances in the past, and he'll be looking to prove his critics wrong in the upcoming races. He's undoubtedly going to be looking to continue his momentum and close the gap to Verstappen even further. See, with both drivers in top form, the championship battle is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent years. Things could get heated, and I hope that they do, It's the least that Red Bull could do to give us a thrilling battle for the championship. Nobody else really stands a chance with them in the picture. Look at Azerbaijan. Leclerc finished almost 20 seconds behind Verstappen. The battle between Perez and Verstappen is not only exciting for fans, but it also adds an extra level of pressure for both drivers. Every mistake could cost them valuable points for the championship, and they'll need to be at the top of their game to stay in the competition. Only time's gonna tell, but from Perez's side, game's already on, and he believes that he and Max will battle it out cleanly. Here's what he said. There's a very high level of respect between Max and myself and the whole team. The level we're operating, we're pushing each other really hard. We obviously want to beat each other. I want to win this championship as much as Max does, but there's a lot of respect between us. In a way, we're very similar in the way we approach or think about the sport. I don't believe that we'll change. We like fighting each other like we did today, as much and as hard as we possibly can, but with a very high level of respect to us and our team. It's going to be a very exciting season for us to watch as we watch Perez and Verstappen battle it out for the championship title since they're free to race, as Horner said. Will Perez continue to be lucky, or will Verstappen make a comeback and actually use his talent? It's really anybody's guess this time, so leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more Formula One content. I'll see you next time. Broom broom.